Who is the real Daeron Targaryen? The biggest twist in episode 3 is that the Daeron Targaryen captured by Rhaenyra isn't actually Daeron at all. Lord Ormond Hightower intentionally sent a silver-haired imposter while hiding the real prince in plain sight. The real Daeron has actually been on screen since episode 1, disguised as Ormond's auburn-haired squire, whether his hair is naturally darker like Alicent's or simply dyed to conceal his identity. The disguise keeps one of the Green's most valuable assets safe. As King Viserys' youngest son and the rider of Targaryen, Daeron is both a legitimate claimant to the Iron Throne and a powerful dragon rider. Now that Ormond has secured Tumbleton, the real Daeron is perfectly positioned to enter the war at the worst possible moment for Rhaenyra.
Rather an oversight to allow one of Prince Aegon's heirs to go prancing about the Reach with his dragon, no less.
Why won't the High Septon crown her? Rhaenyra may be sitting on the Iron Throne, but that does not mean everyone accepts her as the true ruler of Westeros. The clearest sign of that comes from the High Septon, who refuses to anoint her as queen. On the surface it makes sense. The Faith already crowned Aegon II, and publicly recognizing Rhaenyra now would mean admitting they backed the wrong claimant. But the tension goes much deeper than one disputed coronation. The Faith has always had an uneasy relationship with House Targaryen. Their dragons gave the family enormous power, but they also made the Targaryens feel separate from the rest of Westeros, especially because of their Valyrian customs, including incestuous marriages. In the past, the Faith even rose up against King Maegor the Cruel, creating armed religious forces to challenge Targaryen rule. So the High Septon is not just refusing Rhaenyra a ceremony, he is denying her the religious legitimacy that could help calm King's Landing and convince the realm that her rule is more than a dragon-backed occupation.
My gods do not deal in dragons.
Who is Torrhen Manderly? One of episode 3's most interesting new faces is Sir Torrhen Manderly, played by Dan Fogler. Torrhen comes from House Manderly, one of the most powerful noble families in the north. Their seat is White Harbor, a wealthy coastal city with one of the strongest fleets in the region, which makes the Manderlys especially important whenever control of the sea becomes part of the war. Game of Thrones fans may remember House Manderly through Lord Wyman Manderly, who famously supported Jon Snow and helped push the North toward declaring him king in the North. Torrhen comes from that same family, but he arrives in a much earlier and very different political moment. Without getting into future spoilers, Torrhen is not just a random northern knight appearing in King's Landing. His presence shows that the war is reaching beyond the usual Targaryen and Hightower power centers, and as Rhaenyra struggles to hold the capital, support from a major northern house could become more valuable than it first appears.
House Manderly, is it?
Sir Torrhen Manderly.
What is Tumbleton and why is it important? Daeron's deception only works because it buys the Greens time to seize one of the most important locations in the Reach, Tumbleton. It may not look like a major castle, but it sits along vital trade routes between the Reach and King's Landing. That makes it incredibly valuable at a time when the capital is starving and Rhaenyra is struggling to keep food, money, and supplies flowing into the city. The town belongs to House Footley, which supports Rhaenyra, so Ormond Hightower taking it is more than a military victory. It puts the Blacks in an impossible position. They need Tumbleton back, but they cannot simply send dragons to burn it down without destroying the very trade route and population they need to protect. If Rhaenyra attacks too aggressively, she risks looking like another Targaryen ruler willing to sacrifice her own people for power. And, with Hugh's wife now believed to be in Tumbleton, the coming battle could become personal as well as political. What's with all the rats? The rats in King's Landing are more than just a gross background detail. They are a visual reminder that Rhaenyra has taken control of a city that is already rotting from the inside out. The capital is hungry, the treasury is empty, and many of the people around her cannot be trusted. Everywhere she looks, there's another sign that the throne she fought for may be impossible to hold. The rats also reflect Rhaenyra's state of mind. She is grieving, suspicious, and increasingly isolated by clashing with Corlys and refusing to fully trust Alicent. She is pushing away people who could help stabilize her rule. Instead of feeling secure after taking King's Landing, she feels surrounded by threats, some obvious and some hiding in the walls. There is also a practical reason for the infestation. After the blood and cheese tragedy in Season 2, Aegon ordered the cats of the Red Keep killed. With the cats gone, the rats have multiplied across the castle, so every rat Rhaenyra sees is also a reminder of the cruelty, fear, and chaos Aegon left behind. Why won't Rhaenyra legitimize Addam and Alyn? Corlys Velaryon has given Rhaenyra almost everything: his fleet, his political support, and the strength of House Velaryon during the war. So when he asks her to legitimize Addam and Alyn, it seems like a small request compared to everything he has sacrificed. If she agrees, Corlys can openly name Alyn as his heir and secure the future of Driftmark. But Rhaenyra's hesitation is not really about whether the brothers deserve it. It is about grief, guilt, and what their existence represents. Addam and Alyn are Corlys's illegitimate sons, but they are also living reminders that the Velaryon family has been shattered by the war. Rhaenyra Rhaenyra has already lost Lucerys, Jace, and so many people close to her, and she is struggling to separate political necessity from personal pain. By refusing Corlys at the worst possible moment, she risks pushing away one of the few allies she cannot afford to lose. And with the Greens still controlling major parts of the realm, angering the man who commands her navy could become a mistake far bigger than Rhaenyra realizes.
Not begrudge you a new way forward, but Lord Corlys.
A word from the throne. It is simple enough.
Can Rhaenyra hold King's Landing? Taking King's Landing may have been Rhaenyra's greatest victory so far, but Episode 3 makes it clear that ruling the city could be far more difficult than conquering it. The Iron Throne gives her the appearance of power, but the capital she inherits is already falling apart. The treasury is nearly empty, food is scarce, the streets are full of rats, and the small folk are growing desperate. That leaves Rhaenyra facing a problem no dragon can solve. If she raises taxes or takes supplies by force, the people may turn against her. But if she hesitates, the city could descend into hunger, riots, and chaos. Meanwhile, the Greens still control key areas of the Reach, including Tumbleton, making it even harder to restore trade and bring food into the capital. The bigger danger is that Rhaenyra is trying to govern while grieving, angry, and increasingly suspicious of the people around her. She has won the throne, but now she has to prove she can keep it.
And yet a hungry population is a dangerous one, as the Queen and I well know.
Will Daemon stay loyal? Daemon is still fighting for Rhaenyra, but Episode 3 makes it clear that loyalty does not mean obedience. He has always believed the war should be won through strength, fear, and decisive action, while Rhaenyra is now trying to rule with restraint after taking King's Landing. That difference is becoming harder to ignore. He sees them as gods conquering far and wide, their destiny, the prophecy, the dream of old Valyria. Anything contrary to that is weakness, which is something he saw in his brother and is seeing the same with his queen. Like he said, he has made peace with his brother, which somehow extends to Rhaenyra, so I don't see him ever betraying her, even though he doesn't fully agree with her ways. Can Team Black survive? Its internal divisions. The Blacks may have captured King's Landing, but Episode 3 shows that their biggest danger may now be coming from inside their own camp. Rhaenyra needs Corlys and the Valyrian fleet, yet she has angered him by refusing to legitimize Addam and Alyn. She needs Daemon's strength, but he is becoming frustrated by her caution and restraint, and she needs the new dragon riders to feel valued, even as people like Hugh are already questioning what they are fighting for. That is a serious problem, because the Greens do not need to defeat the Blacks in one massive battle. If Rhaenyra's allies start losing faith in her, every disagreement gives Ormond Hightower, Aegon, and the rest of the Green faction more time to regroup and exploit the cracks. Rhaenyra's challenge is no longer simply defeating her enemies. She has to keep a coalition of proud lords, grieving family members, ambitious dragon riders, and frustrated allies united behind her. And the more isolated she becomes, the harder that will be.
You are tired today?
What happens next? Episode 3 ends with the war moving toward Tumbleton, and that is where the next stage of the Dance of the Dragons is likely to explode. The Greens have used the fake Daeron plot to gain time and establish a foothold in a town the Blacks cannot afford to lose. Tumbleton controls important trade routes into King's Landing, so Rhaenyra needs it back, but she cannot simply burn it from the sky without destroying the food, supplies, and civilians she is supposed to protect. That makes the coming conflict much more complicated than a straightforward dragon battle. Rhaenyra will have to decide whether to strike hard, negotiate, or risk looking weak while the Greens strengthen their position. At the same time, Daemon is growing impatient, Corlys is frustrated, and the new dragon riders are beginning to question where they truly belong. Episode 4 could be the moment when Rhaenyra's victory in King's Landing starts to unravel. The battle for Tumbleton may decide who controls the realm's supply lines, but it could also reveal whether Team Black can survive long enough to use them.